There was legit death in Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, one thing, let's get one thing straight. Death in Yu-Gi-Oh! A card game that is legitly had, pretty much as I can remember, not had a legit death since 5D. We're talking quite a while here, and I'm like, holy fucking shit. Akame just went on a very dark path right now, and I'm liking where it's going right now. I gotta say, Akame, the whole fight, you know, we get to see Yugo, Yuto, like all of them there facing off, and this was a sick ass fucking like Synchron Dragon. Clear Synchron Dragon is amazing. I gotta say, that is a really cool car. I love that everyone, like all of them and all that, have their own version of their own card. You know, we've got, you know, Pendulum Dragon, we've got Synchro Dragon XYZ, then that's gotta mean something as well. We've got someone from the fusion dimension as well, which I'm imagining that is the person that we saw right at the end of the series. I'm like, you know, this episode, I gotta say, the entire duel and all that between Yuto and Yugo, like that stuff was really good. I really liked this entire match and all that. So we see like Yuya as well, like he was like trying to belt him, saying, you know, hey, you know, duel has made this happiness and stuff like that. And then we see, you know, XYZ Dragon versus, you know, Synchron Dragon, and I'm like, this shit is absolutely sick and all that. So we know from more from this Synchron deck and all that, that's like all quick stuff. It hit all of it is to something like level 6s and level 7 Synchron monsters like that. And his deck, like Yugo's deck, is a interesting one at that, since I haven't seen an exact Synchro deck for a very long while, so it's kind of weird bringing Synchros back to the meta, I guess, if they ever really make it back to the meta, because that's one thing is that I've noticed as well since I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And all that, is that we don't really see Synchros anymore, and who knows, maybe with his dragon and all that, since it was able to negate stuff and all that, maybe it might be able to negate effects and all that, since if it's like its effect is like if anything gets targeted, like a level 5 or I think higher or something, gets targeted by an effect, he's able to negate the effect and destroy it, and then he gains the attack points on that. I don't know, it didn't say exactly if this is only once per turn. I imagine this is probably going to be like once per turn, but they can do this, and this is a real good reason to get this card out, because, you know, effect monsters are out everywhere now. Like, you pretty much can't get away from them, and a lot of them do have destruction and all that. This will be a perfect time to start using, you know, a Synchro deck and all that. I mean, personally, I still use the fusions, I still use Gladiator Beasts and all that, so, hey, fusions are still relevant and all that, so I'm glad they're making Synchros a little bit relevant, but it's like, when Yuya was able to snap into Yuto and say, you know, you both gonna kill each other, because they seemed like they were actually becoming one with the dragons or something like that, because their eyes started telling like the actual color and all that. He had purple for the XYZs, you know, like that. He also had, you know, white for Synchro. I imagine, you know, like Yuya, he might have that as well if the other gives into the rage and all that. But the actual death where he actually ended his turn and all that, and actually let him win and all that. This shows that Yuto is like a very good player, but it's like if he actually went generally serious and all that, he probably would win a lot of the time. So see his death and all that in the series, whether or not he'll come back or not. Oh yeah, that's kind of crazy to even see that. But the ending of the episode as well, we see from the fusion dimension as well that we also find out that there's a synchro from the synchro dimension, which we don't really know their standstill. So Reiji was like, no, we're staying. What's put. We're not making sure anything else happens to the synchro dimension, because we don't know exactly who they are and exactly where they stand still and all that. And really, to send the first messages by attacking them is not a really good way to start things off and all that. But we do know at least that there is someone on the Synchro part that are actually working together with the fusions. And see, at the end of the episode, I'm guessing we saw the fusion version of Yuya. And I'm generally looking forward to this, seeing what's going to happen and all that, see what the fusion version of Yuya can bring out and all that. So, because we've already seen Yuya bring out a fusion card before with his Pendulum Dragon, and at the end of it, he got Dark Rebellion. So I think definitely as well, it's going to be one thing that's said that throughout the series is that Yuya is going to be obviously using fusion, synchro, and XE versions of all of his Pendulum Drag, you know, odd eyes, because we've already seen him use, like, you know, the Beast version, we've already seen him use the Fusion one, he's obviously going to use Synchro, XZ, and the rest of them, and honestly, this was a really good episode. I thought this was a really good, strong one. Really wish it lasted a little bit longer, the duels and all that. Surprisingly, the duels have been surprisingly short, especially with the whole thing that happened, you know, last week and all that. So yeah, it's got to say I really wanted to see her, but I think they kind of want to wrap it up since we are on another break next week and all that. We actually won't be returning till the 11th, I believe, of January. So yeah, it's going to be sad not having another week of Arc V. We've been taking a few breaks from the series and all that, which is a little bit upsetting, but overall I've been really enjoying it. So I'll definitely get to this episode. I'm going to give this one a solid 8.5 out of 10 because this was a very good episode of Arc V. I really did like this one. This was a really good one, and they brought death into Yu-Gi-Oh! It was genuinely good. So let me know in the comment section down below, but that's all for me. So thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys